Welcome, Rainbow Road families, to a presentation on helping nurture independence in your children. We know as parents ourselves that sometimes it can be difficult to navigate this journey as we live in a COVID world and we're trying to balance virtual learning, helping our children be safe, and just helping to have some semblance of a life as a parent and as a child. What we know about children is that they're not built to be independent overnight or even immediately, but every step literally they take from the time they're born to the time they leave us as young adults, they are growing, and it is an opportunity for us to grow and help them nurture their independence. In fact, I don't know if you guys remember when your children were toddlers, but I'm sure if you do, you remember all of those steps they took from saying no to wanting to walk on their own and I do it, I do it. All of those things were their natural born indicators for being independent. So every step they take is an encouragement for you as a parent that they can and are meant to grow and will get better at this. It may take a little time and support as we help them as parents. But before we get started, let's be honest. Even though we want them to be independent from us, at the same time, these are our babies. And it's really hard to let them take that first step, see them stumble, see them fail, and not rush to fix it. So, as we're talking about strategies today, it's really important for us to be honest with ourselves as parents and be able to give ourselves the opportunity and our child the opportunity to try something, fail it, and know that it's okay. This is a time in their life when trying and failing are great opportunities for learning. In fact, it's the only way to learn. If you got everything right the first time, you'd never learn anything. So it's really important that as we're thinking about making our children more independent and supporting them along their journey, that we allow them to fail and not be necessarily the ones who rush in immediately to fix a situation. Let's see what they do in these times that we give them to be successful in their journey towards independence. So we're going to talk about 3 different approaches to independence. The first is an educational philosophy known as the Montessori philosophy. We do have some magnet schools in our district that support this, but another similar approach is really the whole child approach. In this Montessori philosophy, it goes back to that whole thing we were talking about with from their baby journey to their toddler journey to their young pre-K student, all the way to their young elementary. Children are growing and nurturing independence in a natural way, and it's really important that we set up situations in our households, in our schools, where they are allowed to express that journey, where they're allowed to practice, and hopefully we can set up situations where there is a no-fail. For example, it's okay to help them select maybe their items for getting dressed, and knowing that as long as we select from our winter clothing when it's cold outside, there's a no-fail setup to that, and a child can select anything, even if it doesn't quite match. Another important philosophy that's important to understand about this whole child approach is it doesn't just apply to academics or learning. It applies to all aspects of work. As early as 3 years old, children can begin to put away dishes in the dishwasher, to fold and practice clothing. As early as 2, they can put away their toys. So let's think about all the different options they should be able to start learning to do, even in small steps in the elementary age. I know it's difficult, especially if you're like me and you like your chores done exactly right. It's really important to let those things go as parents as they learn to apply their independence to aspects of work. Maybe your talents aren't worded as perfectly as you would like, but as long as they're usable and the family can use them for their journey, the child will get better and improve as they grow the skill that they're working on independence with. As a psychologist, I would be remiss not to share with you some organizational and approach practices. It is very important if you want an independent child that you develop consistent routines for everything from homework to lunch to how you get dressed in the morning. Making those routines consistent gives a child that structure and support to know that, oh, now is the time where I get up and I get myself ready. Now is the time where those clothes that I've set out last night, I should be putting them on. Now is the time I should be going for my toothpaste. And here are the places I go to get those things. And here are the places where my supplies are for this. It's very important that we have those routines and structures in place in our household so that the child is able to then safely explore their independence within those structures. So we need to create enough flexibility where it's not just the adult way, that there is some flexibility for the child to explore that independent way of doing something within that routine and within that same place and with those same supplies to get the work done. Another important aspect of the organizational approach is checklist. So if you have a child who's struggling to get their work done, maybe it's time to build in even some small chunking of checklists. For example, maybe they have 10 problems to do in their math assignment that day. Maybe the checklist should include do 5 problems, take a breathing break to teach them to self-regulate and help their bodies calm down. Because if it's something that's a child struggle, it could be something they need to help relax with. Or honestly, in a virtual environment, taking a brain break is really something that helps your brain be ready to learn better. So it could be do 5 problems, take that brain break, do 5 more problems, take another brain break, do 5 problems, submit the work to my teacher. That could be our math checklist that we do for the day. Or it's something like brushing your teeth. It could be get the toothpaste out of my drawer, put the toothpaste on my toothbrush, put some water on it, brush my top and bottom teeth and my tongue, rinse my mouth, put my toothbrush and toothpaste away. You'll want to simplify the checklist for younger students and make it really no more than 3 to 5 elements or steps. But it's very helpful for children to grow independence if they know exactly what it is they need to be doing and how to do it and where things are. If you'd like some examples of checklists, there are many when you search for social skill checklist. And I would encourage you to do so for things you're doing at home, like getting my child to put their book bag away, getting my child to do their homework, or in our case right now, to participate in the learning environment. Whatever approach you take, though, it's really important that you take the approach of never, ever taking back what you've given to the child as independent skills. For example, if their independent skill is to clean their room, you don't take it back, even when it's tempting to do so, just so it'll get done and be done right. Doing that not only sends the message that you are the only one who can do something correctly and that their way is incorrect, it also gives them an escape and an out for not having to do something themselves. And as we know with human nature, if we don't have to do work, we will certainly not do it. So never ever take back. And it may become difficult, especially in a time where if a child is of the age to be able to wash their clothing, where they have no clean clothing. And then you're spending that night, the last night when they're out of their last things, walking them through, putting their laundry away. But it's very, very important, no matter what you do, that you don't take back what you've given to a child independently, that they are able to do. And that's really the key, being able to do something. And it's something that you know your child best. You'll be able to determine what they do and don't know. However, before you take any approach to helping your child be more independent, be sure to check your child's and your motivation. A lot of times, fear, frustration, and failure lead to issues where a child or an adult wants to rush something or wants to avoid something altogether. So I want you to look at each independence problem that you face and kind of take a look and ask yourself, is there a fear issue for myself or for my child? Is there something that the child feels they're not capable of doing? Are they afraid of failure? Is it a frustration issue? Am I wanting this independence simply because this annoys me a lot? Or is the child wanting and getting frustrated with this work because they want to be able to do it, but they don't know how to do it independently or they can't yet? So take a look at those motivational issues to determine, is it a motivational issue or a competency issue, and then address it. Finally, make this journey fun. It's real important to have fun with the time with which you have our children. They're only little once, and growing and changing is a part of what they're meant to do. But they're meant to do it with you as their parent and caregivers. So have fun with it. Make the laundry a folding game and build points in. See who can do it the best, the fastest, whatever works in your family. Enjoy those opportunities. Um, Give them rewards for meeting their checklist and getting the work done. If they're having trouble asking questions or getting stuck and coming to you for help, make it fun for them to try to investigate things themselves and be a detective to see if they can figure out the answer. Along the way, just find ways to create that fun journey, and I'm certain that a child will want to go along with you as their parent. Finally, remember, have fun with it. They only are young once, and we will all make it through together. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and talk to one of our student services professionals. Thanks.